Finger family. Hold the thumbtack with one finger. Thread the needle with index and middle. Use all five and pluck the strings of the northern wind. So this is the Rhodes Island Siesta branch office? How did you know? I happen to have a few friends at Rhodes Island. You're a tour guide, aren't you? Don't tell me you're giving tours of a pharmaceutical company now. I was driving a guest. Save me the excuses. It's dangerous for an neuropathy patient to hide his identity. Regardless of the reason, it's against the law, even in Siesta. Yes, I know. What am I supposed to do? Then you worked so many jobs and swindled me. Because of a ripathy? And family? What happens to me doesn't matter, but I worry about what happens to them when I'm gone. I just need time. Until the shop moves and we have a new future. Don't look at me like that. I'm not asking for your sympathy. No. I just remembered how much you charged me the other day compared to the average taxi price here. Well, you lied about being a normal tourist. Oh? You've got a sharper tongue than one would think. What do you want? Let's make a deal. You saw that chap from Mountain Dash Logistics the other day in the bar. He's my competitor. We're competing for the rebuilding rights in the commercial district, but he has home ground advantage. I need some local help to even the odds. You work for me? And I never saw you today. How's that? Trying to blackmail? Now. There's no need for such language. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Don't worry. You'll be paid. I don't need a handout. And I'm not giving any handouts. All I want is a fair deal. What's your deal? I run a clean business here. We don't do forced relocations and the like. If everybody wins, so much the better. Now, there's always going to be controversy when it comes to rebuilding, but I promise that I'll do better than Mount Dash Logistics. We've already worked together once after all. May I count on your vote? I just want my family's bar to be relocated smoothly. Deal then. Oh, and one little word of advice. No matter what you have to deal with, the ripacy treatment is not something that can be delayed. You should make up your mind soon. Aren't you concerned about dealing with an infected? I have a friend who's infected too. It is almost closing time at the museum. There are no tourists, but the audio tours continue to play on loop. The massive mountain boulder remains silent in the empty gallery. The Normans left behind thousands of photos and samples. The rebuilding of the villages around Mount Una. They visited more than 100 volcanoes across numerous countries. Did you really see it? Yeah, I saw the ice cream cone in here. Just wanted to come to the museum. I knew he wouldn't find it. He was lying to us. He didn't go to all those places. How did you get in? Admission is closed. Sorry, we'll be going. Have you seen my dad? Your dad? We're looking for adventure. He went to a lot of places. In the photos he sent us, there were volcanoes, snow mountains, hills and nomadic cities. His photo might be in the volcano museum. What's your father's name? Chuck. I've never heard of a volcanologist by that name. Maybe you should ask elsewhere. I may know your dad. What are you doing here, Adele? You look awful. You've seen him? You said your dad was an adventurer. Where has he been? I don't know. He always sends back photos when he visits a place. I think the last one was from Sargon? Sargon? I knew it. My parents were volcanic researchers. They told me a story about when they were surveying in Sargon. They quickly lost their way in the thick branches and leaves of the rainforest, and it felt like they were wandering around the stomach of a great beast. Just as they thought they would never get out, they saw a man with sleeves all over him. "Are you lost? Do you need any help?" He pointed the way for them and took them out of the rainforest. They even saw a sight of sunny rain. My parents were really thankful. "Thank you so much for helping us out there. What is your name, sir?" The man brushed off the leaves, took a photo of the rainforest and said, "No need to thank me. My name's Chuck. I'm taking this photo to send to my kids." And that's how the photo made it to you. Really? Sounds made up. Of course it's true. I think I have a photo here somewhere. Adele digs through the papers and takes out a photo of the Normans smiling at the camera, with a few blurred figures behind them. "Look, here's your dad." I'm still not sure that's actually my dad. I can't see him clearly, but I hope he's my dad. That means he's helped other adventurers find their way and sent us a photo. What a cool dad. I didn't know you were a storyteller. Just repeating something I heard from Mom when I was little. Was a few adjustments here and there. There's no reason for a professional volcanic survey team to accept help from an amateur. The story sounds entirely unscientific. Science exists to bring hope to people, doesn't it? Well, we can't have them running around the museum like this. If their parent or guardian isn't here, I'll take them home. You look tired, Adele. You should get some rest too. Come on, kids. I'll take you home. Con, I think I should do it. But you, it's fine. Let me do it. You look lonely. I'll keep them company. Enos, where did you go? I found out where Dad went. Make sure you tell your family the next time you go out. It's you? Huh? I'm the one who ran into you today and knocked you out. I'm Enos. I'm their brother. Are you okay? Any dizziness? Dr. Ceylon said, she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run off, but I had to go to work. I'll pay for your medical expenses. Dr. Ceylon told me everything. It's not your fault. Your little brother and sister must be hungry. You should go home. Thank you so much. What's your name? Call me Adele. I remember. Little ones, don't you have something to say to Adele? Thank you, Adele. The mischievous boy reaches around the little girl's neck and pats her opposite shoulder. Huh? Who's there? The girl looks hesitantly at the troublemaker next to her, who pretends nothing has happened, but could not hold back his laughter. They chase each other into the shop, into the open arms of their mother, then run back out like frolicking beastlings while their mother tends to dinner being cooked on the stovetop. Adele breaks out in a smile. That's so nice to see. Mr. Enos, do you know one Mr. Pelipper? The Volcanic Museum needs obsidian for its research. I heard you may be able to acquire some. Damn. He just can't keep his mouth shut, can he? Can I buy some from you? You helped me so much. I should repay the favor. I dug these up around the volcano 30 months ago. They don't look great, but maybe they'll be useful for your research. Thank you very much. However, I must ask you to stay away from the volcano. If you know anyone else who is mining for obsidian, please tell them to stop doing so. Mount Siesta has entered its active period. Even if it hasn't erupted yet, originum activity in the area continues to increase. There's a risk of erypathy infection without professional protective equipment. Well, There's laughter coming in from outside, as the two children chase each other on the streets, as their shadows stretch in the setting sun. Enos gazes at his siblings as they go further and further away, and subconsciously touches a spot on his chest where he was scratched by Originum. Alright, I promise I won't go anymore. And thank you for playing with my siblings. That should have been my responsibility as big brother. It's okay. They're very cute. I had a good time too. By the way, your siblings said that your father has not been home for a long time. He's a, adventurer? Traveler? Explorer? It's not like he's gone off the grid or anything. He sends postcards and money back on a regular basis. You can be present without actually being there, however. By the time we get a letter from him, he's already off to the next place. All we know is that there's someone out there, going from one corner of the land to the other. Sometimes I want to see for myself where he's been. Harley raised us here while running the shop. But she says that life is a journey, and everyone chooses the sights they want to see. If you don't mind me asking, why are the three of you all different races? Well, we're not blood related. All three of us were adopted. Oh. No need to look at me like that. It's not exactly taboo. People come and go every year, some seeking a new life, some seeking romance. Many leave in disappointment when they find that life here isn't all it's cracked up to be, leaving behind children like us. I can tell your siblings love you. It must seem strange to outsiders, but for me, family is family. Ties of blood aren't that important. I don't know what my birth parents look like. Maybe they abandoned me. Or maybe they loved me and got into an accident. My new parents didn't hide anything from me. The little ones will be told the truth too, once they're a little older. Adele looks at Harley, working in the shop, and Enos' siblings, who are already shadows in the distance. Everything is warm and peaceful, like a dream. The obsidian feels heavy. She turns sideways and wipes away a teardrop from the corner of her eye. And how long were you planning to hide it from me, Enos? Mom? Alright, I admit, I have thought of remaking this place into a hot springs resort. I promise I won't try to do it behind your back. I won't do anything without your permission. Once you've gotten everything in order. Once arrangements for our future have been made the way you wanted. And you'll leave your mother and siblings behind. The way you cleared drunkard out the bar. And find a place to wait for Repathy to take you. Is that the journey you've chosen for yourself? You knew? I was waiting for you to tell me. Mr. Enos, you already... Well... Blame me and my fat fingers. I got scratched by Originum when I was digging for Originum at the volcano. I thought I was good at climbing. Yeah, I learned my lesson. No. The only thing you learn to do is to hide things from me. And you're not half as good as you think you are at it. You've got that look on your face that says, I'm going to finish everything, go far away, and tell my blissfully ignorant mother everything in farewell letter after I die. You think it's cool? Now you've got that look on your face that says I can't even say that's not what's going on. I didn't think it was cool. I just felt like it's what I have to do as a big brother. As a part of this family. After all, we're not... Even if you didn't do anything, you'll still be their brother and my son. There's no bargaining in love. If you insist on bargaining with me about this, young man, let me tell you that you'll be working off your debt for a long time. Oh, sorry, I thought some background music was in order for a scene like this. Name's Bird, traveling troubadour. A resident singer now? You can afford a resident singer? No, but this one only wants to be paid a story. Your Casimir's stories were wonderful. It helped a great deal in understanding the folk tunes of those parts. Can I borrow the guitar? Let me play a song. The evening mist covers the town. The rising new moon makes it look like a new place. My favorite place exists only in my sweet memories. I have nothing but my sweet memories. So you came here? How far can you see from here? It's all dark. Just empty seas. Not being able to see means you can imagine there's actually an island on the far side of the sea. And everyone who leaves Siesta lives on that island. I'm a little scared. When we grow up, will our parents and Enos leave us? He won't. Enos says we're an adventure team. A team doesn't leave each other. We'll go back to Old Siesta and many other places. You can't tell there's something on Enos's mind. What? How do you have something on a mind? You're an idiot. The girl stands up, gazes at the direction of the volcano, and yells with all her strength. Hey, Old Siesta! I miss you. Will you stop being angry? It's a loss for the Obsidian Festival that your performance was not a part of it. There's nothing to be lost. Siesta has heard my music many times. I don't need to compete for attention with young people at a music festival. You're a Siestan with rock and roll spirit. In my case, I added a Siestan identity to a rock and roll spirit. Chuck and I met on our tours and travels in Siesta. We heard about the wondrous sight of the white volcano. How the entire volcano turns white like a marshmallow under certain weather conditions. We spent a year in Siesta without seeing a sight of it. But we fell in love with the city and settled down here, opening a new shop. If we couldn't find a white volcano, we could make one ourselves. So that's how the shop got its name? I thought you two just came up with it on the fly. Dr. Keller has talked about the legend of the white volcano before. But does it really exist? Might be snow if it's the top of a mountain. But when you're talking about the whole mountain, I don't know of any phenomenon like that. Whether it actually exists or not is not important. The scene of legends has taken root in new soil, even creating a new legend of its own. What a beautiful story. This reminds me of an old song that was written in Siesta. May I? It's a long, long journey. I write on a ship with a broken mast. My home is 100 miles behind me. How charming is the summer sun. The north wind blows 100 miles, visiting the first volcano. We'll meet again along the forgotten trail. Oh, I remember now. This is it. The north wind blows 100 miles, visiting the first volcano. That's the north wind you're looking for? Having a tune play itself over and over in your head, but not being able to remember the lyrics, is the 7th most painful thing in the world. I'm feeling much better now. Thanks. Adele, who are you talking to? Myself. Just thinking about the north wind and the lyrics. But Siesta is north of the ocean. It should be a south wind in the summer. I'm reminded of a story about the songwriter. I think it was back in 1060. His album, Lost, tells the story of how he got lost in the hills on a camping trip and had to be rescued. The album was a smash hit and cemented the singer couldn't find the north. Maybe he got his directions mixed up. Is that all there is to it? The events of the past can often feel like a joke. We're just seeing a snapshot of preserved in time. But the actual truth is elusive. That's why the present is so precious, isn't it? Ain't that right? What are you doing, Enos? Putting the sign up. Ha! You stubborn boy. A hand, Mom? Enos stands on the ladder, lifting up the shop sign. He takes the hammer and nail from his mother and goes to work pinning it above the door. The power switch is pulled, and neon illuminated words begin to glow against the sun's last light. White volcano? The original messenger for this batch caught in sick. The letter was already like this when I got it. This is the only place I could think of when I saw volcano on the envelope. I know as much as you do. There's no information about the sender on the letter. There's no information. How have you been? I'm doing fine here. It's been a long time. I miss you. The volcano is a spectacular sight. The winds are strong at the peak. Love. Your father. Mr. Enos, might this photo be from your father? My father? This is Mount Una. He really did go there. Mom, Dad sent a photo. Want to see? Write back to him and tell him that he loses his bet if he sends in a postcard photo, and not one that he actually took himself. After all, I raised my son to be cool, but all he does is steal other people's photos. Real adventures don't do that. I'll bring these obsidian samples back. We should have a more accurate estimate of the eruption time. Glad to be of help. Adele? Do you know why Keller called you to siesta? Some of the exhibits in the Volcano Museum were connected to my parents' research. Dr. Keller asked me to help organize things. I'm not sure I understand your concerns. In their last days, my parents were studying the relationship between originum veins and volcanic activity. There are many other people doing the same. Why would there be danger? I wasn't sure it was my place to tell you what Dr. Newman tried to hide from you. But hide this any longer and you may never have the chance to learn the truth. In the year before Dr. Nauman died, her lab was frequently contacted by the personal army of a Lithuanian Kurfürst. Army? The Naumans were experts in originum and ecology. Their research converged on the prediction and prevention of catastrophes, and someone may have seen another possibility in their research. Weaponization. I was studying abroad at the time, so what I knew was limited to rumors and my classmates' messages. There was only one person who had access to their research. Keller. An imposter? Found it? Found it, found it. Found it when the foul beast was singing. How's the weather today? All good until bad happens. Time is of the essence. Our party is about to begin. Why did you only arrive just now? Me? Say no more. I can tell at a glance you're different from the other mediocre people. I suggest you join our grand plan. Grand plan? What are you gonna do? Where am I? And why am I wearing Muti's clothes? We'll find what we like most, carry it on our backs, and take it off, and never take it off again. It is so very heavy. So heavy that I won't be able to straighten my back. But it is very important. Why do you have nothing on your back? No, she does have it on her back. Good evening, child. Did you hear the bell? Bell? No. But that might be because I can't hear you very well most of the time. Then you should also come and join our party. Where is it? When the next bell rings, at the end of the world. But before that, I have something to show you. Looks like my memory is correct. These stones, specimens, and red-colored photos. These are what you've been brought here to see. The gentle creature walks forward with slight footsteps. Look, these rocks have been alive for thousands, tens of thousands of years. They were buried here, deep beneath the ground, long before we were even here. They're so beautiful, so passionate. Though they were deep underground, hundreds of miles apart, they eventually came together and brought forth a marvelous eruption. You love them, don't you? Volcanoes? I do. Volcanoes or rocks, they are all precious treasures. But my dear Adele, what if someone used them to do bad things? What would you do? Bad things? Like what? A pretty nice party it was. A pretty nice party it'll be. The Norse wind we found, we found. But where are the seeds in the ground, Oh, the party's about to begin. Adele, would you like to bring a rock to the party? Then let us make haste. What's wrong? What's on your mind? I'm sorry to say this, but Little black sheep. Are you Mr. Dolly? I am Dolly, but I am also not Dolly. Who I am depends on what I am in your mind. There are some differences between you and Mr. Dolly. Are all of those little black sheep? No, we cannot say all. Each and every one is unique, as is their connection to the world. Just as we refer to you, we would not call all of them Adele. Every Adele is unique. Okay, so why did you invite me here? Because of the north wind. Because we wish to share the joys of harvest. Every participant in this party has been chosen, including you, my dear Adele. The things I've experienced the last few days have truly been mind-boggling. That too is a part of life. Are you happy right now, little one? I don't know. Let me take a look. I believe you are. Not very happy right now. Look over there, she is the proof. The little black sheep looked down from atop the chest. A tiny, frail creature tries to jump up. Once, twice. Try as it might, it cannot jump out onto the chest. Is it alone? She looks very weak right now. Too weak to jump. Can we help her out? Not right now. Only when the volcano erupts will she become herself. Is she also one of your kind? Yes, eventually. Everyone will become one of us. Morning, Adele. Would you like some breakfast? Why do you look so tired? Want me to make a cup of coffee? Good morning. I seem to have had a really long and strange dream last night, and I'm still a bit out of it. You know what they say around here? The emotions that overflow too much during the day are left over for you to savor in your dreams at night. What was the dream about again? I seem to remember something about it being very noisy and lively. It's true. I really saw it all. Yes, I believe you. And because of that, you're not allowed to have ice cream for 2 months for sneaking out of your room at midnight and sneaking over to the land by the sea. Aww. But I saw a little lamb run into my room last night, and it took me to a place where there were a whole bunch of other lambs. There were a whole bunch of lambs as fluffy as marshmallows, singing and dancing on top of a chest. What you say is true? A flock of sheep invited you to their midnight party. Yeah, and I think that makes sense, because I've been a good girl. complete mess. Up until yesterday, specialty products from various countries shipped by Mountain Dash Logistics had all been stockpiled here. If nothing unexpected happened, they would have appeared at the fair trade in a few days to show the tourist city what the outside world looked like. But now, there are overturned shelves everywhere the eye can see, goods strewn haphazardly across the ground. Dusty footprints stamped atop some of them. How did this happen? Oh boy, poor Bison. Bro's just trying to get his job done.